Today is wheel and tire and brake day. Yay! So much fun. No need, if you have one of these trucks, to ever join a gym. All you gotta do is take the tires off, take the hubs off. Ooh, you can tell I run yesterday was air tank day. I'll get that in a minute. Well, explain that. I didn't video it. The air tanks are way underneath the middle of the frame. And if you want a visual image of what air tank day looked like, just lay on the floor and reach up to where you can't almost touch something, and then put a wrench in your hand and move it like that far and take it down, turn it over, do it again. Repeat that for 10 minutes on each end of the tank. Oh yeah, put dirt in your eyes too. Then if you try to sit up, hit yourself in the head with something sharp. That was air tank day. But my truck is now holding air. I just checked it to see if it ran a few minutes ago. So I have air in the system because I'm going to bleed. And it's been leaking the air out. My check valve hasn't popped like that in who knows how long. All right. There's lots of videos about pulling tires off and on. There's videos about wheel bearings and brakes. So I didn't do that, and brake and wheel cylinder removal. Now we're up to brake bleeding. The master cylinder on these trucks is in the best possible mechanical location, but probably the worst possible maintenance location. I mean, it's down there. It's underneath the cross member here. You can see it, sure. Maybe down in there. It's a pain to get to, and having to put fluid in there, have someone pump the brakes, put the cap back on, of course, pump the brakes, then every so often have someone stop and check the fluid. It's a pain. And you gotta find the helper. So, I don't know, 2 years ago, I did a video about Motive Products Power Bleeder, and I think I had, 20 views on that so far. So no one's really watched that video, so I thought I'd talk about it again. Oh yeah, here's the air tank from yesterday. Here's the pinhole. Doesn't seem to be a rot in there. It's just, that was where the frame was, the bracket, the frame. This is, I cut off this side. Deuce and a half air tank set off another truck at the toy store over in Bernie. When I got my first exposure to working on deuce and a halves, stripping the truck over there, a whole other story. All right. To bleed brakes, you have to get the fluid from the master cylinder. Am I in frame at all? Yeah, sure. Master cylinder, through the lines with no air, to the wheel cylinders. Now this is the wheel cylinder I just pulled off the truck. And looking at it this way, you can kind of see dull spots and shiny spots. It's just dirty. That's the best way to put it. This is the wheel cylinder I pulled off the left rear axle. Now the cups inside, they're not torn, they're not frayed, they're soft, they're pliable. They're just dirty. The pistons got some kind of crud on the back of them. I haven't cleaned them up yet. I just dry them off with a rag. These things will all clean up. Spring isn't rusty, spring is good. So I'm going to take a hone to this and just lightly clean it up once I run it through the solvent tank again, and put some silicone on here. It'll probably go back together and be ready to go. The one I just put on the truck a few minutes ago looked the same way. I don't know, last time I pulled one apart years ago, and the silicone brake fluid, brake fluid silicone doesn't absorb water, so there's not rust. It's just dirt, and if you don't use it, it will start to leak. The dirt will get in there and start to leak by. All right. So if you want a video about wheel cylinder rebuild, write something in the comments. So brake fluid silicone. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's hard to get. You have to go find places, or local auto parts store will get you what, $50 for a pint. I buy it by the gallon for, I don't know, 70, 75. Last time I bought a couple gallons. I used yellow. Okay. This is the master cylinder cap off of a gasser, Rio gasser deuce. I have several caps. And this is a master cylinder off of a 1955 Jeep CJ5. This won't fit. The early Jeeps had a smaller one, and the early M38s did as well. This is a cap off of a deuce and a half master cylinder right here. Same size hole. Screws right on. I use this cap on the new master cylinder on this old CJ for that video 2 years ago. Screw that in, connect, fill it full of fluid, pump this up, and it will push the fluid through the lines for you. It's called pressure bleeding. It's the same as having somebody pump the brake 3 times and hold it while you crawl underneath and open the bleeder valve. Except you don't have to ask somebody to help you. You can fill this full of fluid and have it continually refill the master cylinder, which is great if you got like the deuce and a half, where I'm going to be underneath there for, I got 4 wheel cylinders I'm underneath there. Who knows how much I'm going to get out. So I might want to have a bunch of fluid coming in. But as you can see, I use the yellow brake fluid, military surplus brake fluid, and I'm out of yellow. All I got is purple now. So I'm going to do it dry. I'm going to fill the master cylinder up, put the lid on, and since this is the lid off of my truck I'm working on right now with the fitting for the vent line to the air filter. I put a quick connect on there, and presto changeo, all is well. So I can just pump this up with just air in it. I don't know what color purple and yellow will make. Don't really want to find out. And then, since I'll be using catch cans underneath, once I get, a pint or so of liquid out, I'll stop, come back up, disconnect, pull this off, fill it back up again, redo. It's less cleanup, it's easier to do, but this whole process is easy compared to having 2 people or 3 people helping you. And that's about it. Now I'm going to finish up left rear wheel brake day, and I swapped out the one leaking tire, or the tire that won't hold air, that was on the inside dual, for another one off. I had 1100 NDT I had sitting around, and we'll put fluid in the brakes and see where else it leaks, or if it leaks, or if it's done leaking. Might be go drive the truck day tomorrow. Who knows?